Hello there and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hello and welcome. I am Nesli and I'm a pattern maker. I am so happy that you're here today because we are diving into hair tool bag, the easiest project in this 3-part series, which includes makeup bag and vanity bag, all of which are available as a bundle and also separately in my shop. Hair tool bag is quite similar to makeup bag in terms of construction, so if you have already tried makeup bag, you will find this one just as enjoyable, but if not, go ahead and check out that other video with makeup bag as well. The main difference between the two bags, other than their dimensions obviously, this one does not have an inside pocket, making it even a simpler and quicker sew. This bag has an only one size, so this is what we are going to do. And in this video, I'll guide you through step by step from printing and assembling your pattern and sewing this sleek and really functional bag for your hair tools. So let's get started.
Open your file with Adobe Acrobat Reader. This is a free application and you can download it pretty easily with a quick Google search. Now we can print our pattern. Just be sure you selected the actual size option, as the other ones won't give you the correct measurements. To test if our print is in the right measurements, we have a test square. One is 5 by 5 in centimeters, other is 2 by 2 in inches. Measure in the unit of measurement you are using. If they match, then you're good to go. These little triangles and quarter circles help you to match the pieces correctly. Each quarter circle includes a letter and a number. Match the quarter circles with the same letter and number to form a full circle for perfect alignment. All patterns are inside of a dashed box. Cut one side of the overlapping pages and leave the other side intact for connecting. Align the triangles and the matching quarter circle markers to ensure accurate assembly. You can use tape or glue, whichever you prefer. And for the final step of assembly, simply cut along the outer 1 cm seam allowance line. All pattern pieces include seam allowances, so you don't have to add any. You'll need wadding, main fabric, lining, matching thread and zippers. You can use pre-made zippers and the exact length can be found in the table included in the instruction file. Place your pattern piece on your wadding. Cut a rectangle that's 5 cm larger than your pattern pieces on each side. Cut your main fabric to the same size as the wadding. Using the selvage edge as a guide, draw a line down the center of the fabric parallel to the edges. This 5 cm extra margin is essential because the fabric tends to shrink slightly after quilting. I've set my quilting foot to create 3 cm spacing between each stitch line. Pin the layers together in a few spots to keep them secure. Start by stitching along the drawn center line. After finishing, use the quilting foot to guide you as you create parallel stitch lines evenly across the fabric. And if you don't have a quilting foot, don't worry. Simply mark parallel lines on your fabric at your preferred intervals using a washable or raisable fabric pen and follow those lines with your stitches. This method works perfectly for creating evenly spaced quilting lines. Now that our fabric is prepped, it is time to start cutting your pattern pieces. Place your hair tool bag pattern piece onto the quilted rectangle. Make sure the notches on each edge align with the stitch line on the fabric. Once everything is aligned, carefully cut around the pattern and cut your zipper handles as well. The list of all the pieces you need to cut is included in the instruction file. Make sure you don't forget to snip all the notches. These will help guide your assembly later, so take your time to make them accurate. I'm using an erasable fabric pen to mark the notches so they are easier to see on camera. After cutting the quilted fabric, you might notice the edges lifting or separating slightly. To secure these and prevent the cut stitching from unraveling further, sew a basting stitch very close to the edge of the pattern piece. This will help keep everything in place and make the assembly process smoother. After cutting out the pattern pieces from the lining fabric, mark all the notches again with the same pen. Since the lining looks the same on both sides, I'm writing back on the wrong side to avoid confusion. Now we'll attach the zipper to the main fabric. Cut the zipper slightly longer than the edge. Fold the zipper in half and cut a small notch on each side at the fold. These notches will align with the notches on the top edge of the main fabric. If you are using a continuous zipper, here's how to add the zipper pull. Otherwise, check the instruction file for the required zipper lengths. Separate the teeth a little at one end and trim one side slightly shorter. Insert the pointed end of the zipper pull onto the longer side of the teeth first. Slide it in until it reaches the shorter side. Then align the shorter side into the second slot of the pull. Once both sides are secured, gently pull the zipper pull forward while holding the teeth firmly to close the zipper. Now secure the end to prevent from opening. With your main quilted fabric right side up, place your zipper right side down, aligning the edge of the zipper to the top edge of your quilted fabric. Mesh the notches. Pin everything in place. Open up the zip and sew it all the way. Use a zipper foot and sew as close to the zipper teeth as possible. Now align the other side of the zipper with the opposite top edge of the back. Mesh the notches and pin everything in place. Open up your zipper and repeat the process by sewing it. Now let's sew the lining. Place your lining right side down. Sew the right sides of your main quilted fabric and lining should face each other, sandwiching the zipper in the middle. Mesh the top middle notches again and pin everything in place. Sew the lining along the edge. And now for the other side. While ensuring the right sides are touching, Align the other top edge of the lining with the other top edge of the main fabric. Align every matching notch and edge together. For this edge, we'll leave an opening in the center. The size of the opening should be approximately 10 cm. This opening will be important for turning the bag right side out later. Skip the middle opening and sew only the sides. This way, once we finish everything that needs to be done inside, we will turn the entire bag right side out through this gap. It is time for top stitching. Let's start from the edge where we didn't leave an opening. When top stitching on this side, gather all seam allowances under the main fabric and sew all the way through from the right side of the main fabric. And on the side where we left the opening, the situation will be a bit different. Instead of gathering all the edges together and sewing them at once, separate the zipper and main fabric to one side and the lining to the other. Top stitch from the right side of the main fabric, ensuring the zipper and main fabric are underneath. By doing this, we will not sew up this gap that we left open and will continue to leave it as an opening. If we had included the lining in the seam allowances while sewing the top stitching, this gap would have been closed. Close the zipper and turn the bag inside out again, exposing both the lining and the main fabric to the wrong side. Align the lining and main fabric, ensuring that all their short edges match perfectly. Carefully stack all the layers on top of each other, making sure everything is evenly aligned before proceeding to the next step. Before sewing close the side seams, we need to place the zipper handles, so let's prepare the zipper handles. First, fold in half right sides facing each other, sew a straight stitch along the edge. Cut the excess seam allowance to turn easily. Turn it inside out. Make sure your seam line is in the middle and press with your iron. Bring the short edges together with the seam line on the inside and join them with a basting stitch. Align the layers, making sure the corners match perfectly, and pin them together. Before pinning the bottommost main fabric layer, place the zipper handle between these two notches, ensuring its raw edge aligns with the raw edge of the main fabric. So you will have 2 layers of lining and 2 layers of quilted main fabric on top of each other, with the zipper handle in the middle of them. cut off any excess zipper if you have any. Sew along the seam line with 1 cm seam allowance. Now line up all of the layers and pin down your side seams for the other side as well. If your zipper pull is extending off your bag, it is crucial to remember to open up the zip and to make sure the zipper pull is encased within the bag before cutting off any excess zipper if you have. Align the sides and match the notches for a perfect finish. Sew along the seam line at the edge seam allowance of 1 cm. Now onto the corners. Start with the quilted fabric. With your fingers, pinch the corners and pull these corners apart from each other. This new edge will be perpendicular to the edge you sewed just before. Once this new edge is formed, pin these two quilted main fabric layers together. You will rotate the bag to face the other side and do the same things for the lining. Likewise, hold the corners and pull to create a new edge. Now, we will match and align these two new edges you have created. Put the two edges on top of each other and pin them together nicely. You will repeat this process for all 4 corners. Sew along the seam line at 1 cm seam allowance. Now we are going to flip the bag inside out from the opening we left before. Carefully pull all fabric from inside to outside. Now that we turned the bag inside out, we are so close to the finish line. It is time to close the gap. We will close this gap by pinning the main fabric and lining together, following the sewing line on which we top stitched. If you pin from the right side of the main fabric, it will be much easier to sew accurately on the sewing machine. You can also choose the hand stitch it to close using an invisible stitch. Make sure you close this gap well by sewing a little longer than the beginning and end of the gap. When you look from the inside, only this little seam will be visible. In fact, when you use your bag in daily life, this seam will be at an angle you'll never see. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you had as much fun as I did putting together this practical hair tool bag. If you enjoyed this tutorial or found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel for more sewing tutorials and tips. Don't forget, you can find the pattern for this hair tool bag and many others in my Etsy shop. Just check out the link in the description below. I'd love to see your creations, so feel free to tag me on Instagram by using the hashtag #NesliePatterns. Thanks again for your support, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Until then, happy sewing!